it is kind of awkward and uncomfortable and like maybe a little bit guilty feeling when we first are fleshing out this skill of saying no. That's not a good enough reason for you to just say yes to shit. Hi everybody. Thanks for coming back. I have seen a couple requests for me to make a video about this, so if you've made a request, thank you. I try to look through the comments for your guys' suggestions, so always let me know what you want to see next, because usually I will make that if I'm able to. But today we're talking about how to say no. This is a skill that, first of all, I just want to put it out there right off the bat, will take time to develop and get better at. But number two, this is a skill that is really hard for a lot of people, especially for women and female identifying people. There's a lot of pressure and a lot of negative feedback that we get around the topic of saying no. This is a really useful thing to talk about and host a conversation about. I have some tips for you guys and I have some examples for you guys. So let's just talk about it. Okay, I have 3 tips for you guys in terms of learning how to say no. Obviously, the crux of the issue is like, just say no. Like, the words have to come out of your mouth, but also I recognize that it's not that simple. So that's why I wanted to talk about these things and kind of give you guys some like reflection stuff to help put you in the right headspace and like mind frame to say no to things that you don't want to say yes to. So the first thing is to focus on your why. A lot of times when we're in a situation in which we want to say no, clearly there's an underlying reason. There's something that's preventing you from wanting to say yes. And so whatever that is, continue to come back to that. It's important that we honor that desire and impulse that you have. If that's like a gut decision or like a gut feeling, just that instinctual thing of like, I don't think this is right. If it's truly that you're just like overwhelmed or you don't have time or, you know, it's not a fit for you, or if you just like straight up don't want to do the thing because you don't like it, continue to come back to that, because a lot of times when we say no to things, there's like feelings of guilt and like obligation, like I don't want to let people down, or I don't want someone to be disappointed in me or to be upset with me. Just a like, quick caveat. Obviously, this is different if you are trying to learn how to say no to someone who is abusive or unsafe or manipulative or very controlling. Like, that's a very different conversation. And so again, this is why this channel is not therapy. I can't give you specific advice about your specific life because I don't know you. And I'm just talking to my camera in my spare bedroom with my husband. So grain of salt as always. But in situations with people who are safe, are, like quote unquote normal sort of casual relationships, continue to come back to that why of, why you want to say no, because it is kind of awkward and uncomfortable and like maybe a little bit guilty feeling when we first are fleshing out this skill of saying no. That's not a good enough reason for you to just say yes to shit. Again, usually there is like that feeling that we have when we want to say no to something, but we like don't let ourselves. That is like, we feel like we're getting ripped in half. Or it's like, like I'm not really honoring the parts of myself that like feel true and real and authentic. And so listen to that. Your like body and your nervous system and yourself is trying to send you a signal. So like listen to that. Just say no to the thing. We will talk about different ways to say no in a minute. But again, I want to encourage you to come back to your why and continue to revisit the reason that you're saying no in the first place, because it's not about what other people may think or feel. It's about you. Okay. Thing number 2 is to start slow. So a lot of times we see encouragement online about like, just say the fucking word no, and like no is a complete sentence. And I love this. I think this is great advice. However, when you're a person who's struggling with people pleasing, or you're not really used to saying no, or you're saying no to someone that you really like or that you don't want to disappoint, just flat out saying the word no can feel a little bit unattainable. So give yourself some space to start slow and like maybe dress up the word no with some other surrounding words and phrases that feel a little bit more comfortable for you. Because when we are first learning how to say no, and like ultimately this is a boundary setting thing, it's very uncomfortable. So we want to optimize your chances for success. So if that means that you are saying no by telling a person, well, I'm not really sure if I'm going to have time, and so I think I'll probably have to pass. I'm really sorry, but I won't be able to. That's totally okay. Like, that's still saying no. And I think it's important to acknowledge that ultimately you're getting the same result out of that if you were to just like straight up say like, no, I'm not going to that. I think there's also a case to be made here too. We're learning how to say no in a way that is kind and compassionate, because if you are a person who struggles with people pleasing and has a really hard time honoring yourself and your needs and your wants, it's not uncommon for people to struggle with saying no and to like sort of dress this up. Because if you are a person who struggles with people pleasing, odds are that you're probably going to dress this up in a really kind way anyways. But if you are one of those people who is learning how to say no, but you're not really sure how to do this, this is an area where we can fall into like accidentally being aggressive instead of assertive and doing thing where we're like, no, fuck you, I don't want to do that. Or like just being very upfront and like maybe a little bit much about saying no. So it can be really important, I think, to find that gray area. Learning how to say no in a way that honors the fact that you're saying no to something, but also is like socially acceptable. There's like a time and a place to say like no, but there's also a time and a place to say, wow, thank you for thinking of me. I won't be able to do that, but I really appreciate the opportunity. I can't go though. Like those are two very different sentiments. And so it's important to honor the context there. So again, I want to encourage you to first of all lean into what feels authentic to you, but second of all, to give yourself some space in terms of developing language and vocabulary that feels reflective of who you really are and how you normally communicate, but also again, like optimizes your chances of actually saying no, so it feels like attainable to you. Okay, tip number 3. I don't remember what it is. Thing number 3, no ambiguity. Don't do the thing where you say, well, I'm not really sure, like maybe, because that ultimately is not saying no. While we want to encourage you to use vocabulary and verbiage that feels authentic to you and again optimizes your chances of success, it's important to cut the ambiguity out of that equation. Because when you say, I'm not sure, maybe, what someone hears is they're not sure, so maybe they'll say yes, and they might continue to ask you. They might continue to bring up the issue. And if you are a person who struggles with people pleasing and is having a hard time saying no in the first place, this is going to increase the odds that you're going to end up saying yes to some shit that you don't want to say yes to. So cut the ambiguity. Be mindful about the language that you're using, because again, we can dress up the word no with lots of other softeners so that we're not being like super aggressive right out of the gate, but still doing that in a way that doesn't leave any guessing room or doesn't leave any wiggle room about the fact that you just flat out said no. So that leads us to the second portion of this video. I'm going to list some examples of words and phrases that you can use to say no. This is easier than you would think, but a lot of times when we're in the moment and we're struggling to find the words, it can feel very overwhelming and confusing. So you can say no by simply saying the word no. You can say no by saying no thank you. You can say no by saying, that's really kind of you to think of me, but I won't be able to. I'm really tired and I won't be able to go. I have a lot on my plate right now, so I'll have to pass. How do I normally say no to things? Thanks for the offer, but I don't think I'll be doing that. That doesn't sound like a good fit for me. I don't know that that will work out for me, so I'll probably say no, or I will say no for right now. Maybe at another time, but now's not a good time, so I won't be able to, or I can't, or I don't want to. I'm in a weird place right now, so no. I'm feeling overwhelmed, so that's not going to be a possibility for me. I don't think that I have the bandwidth for that right now, so I'll have to pass, or I'll have to say no. I don't normally say yes to those things, so that probably won't work. I have something else planned, so I won't be able to go. I, as a rule, say no to this particular type of thing, so I can't go. I don't know you well enough to do that, so I won't go. That makes me uncomfortable, so I don't want to do that. I don't like that, so I don't want to do that. That's all of the ones that I can think of for now. There's lots of different ways that you can say no to things. Again, I want to encourage you to use vocabulary and words that feel authentic to you, but the takeaway from this video is that the core of the issue in terms of saying no, again, is really focusing on that, like why you want to say no in the first place, and really honoring that. It is also helpful as kind of like a bonus tip. Surround yourself with people who are supportive of you saying no. So if you have friends, family, loved ones, coworkers, acquaintances that will be supportive and validating of you saying no, try saying no with them first. Don't come out of the gate swinging with the person that you know is going to be really aggressive and trying to get you to say yes. Practice saying no with something small, like no to the fucking Starbucks barista, or your partner, or your mom, or like, I don't know, somebody easy. Anyways, there's lots of different ways that you can say no. I think that's all the ones that I can think of right now. Again, I want to encourage you guys to use words and language that feel authentic to you, that feel attainable to you. I'm sure that there's lots of different ways to say no that I didn't cover. But again, the core of the issue here is continuing to hone in on that, like why you want to say no in the first place, and honoring that. Just as a little bonus tip, it is also easier to say no when you surround yourself with support people who are validating and understanding of you saying no. So friends, family, acquaintances, coworkers, etc. Practice saying no with people who are safe, but also again, like easy to say no with. Don't come right out of the gate swinging at the people that you know are really aggressive and are going to try to force you to say yes to things. That's not good practice, and that probably won't feel good. So start small, start easy, have faith in you. You can do it. I used to be the person who never said no to things, and now I say no to shit all the time. And it's really empowering and validating and fun. So we're here to spread the gospel of saying no. Okay, I hope that you guys enjoyed this or found it useful, if you guys have follow-up questions, please put those in the comments. Oh, I also forgot to mention, people may respond poorly to you saying no. That's not an indicator that you're doing the wrong thing. Continue to just come back to the singular phrase of like, I don't have time for that, so I won't be saying yes, and like just repeat that shit. But again, just because people might react poorly to boundary setting does not mean that you're doing it wrong. Those people suck. Fuck those people. Anyways, if you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel because we have content like this and other like fun therapist react style stuff, and I'd love to have you stay and share the video to help the channel grow and to help each other grow. And I will see you guys next Saturday. Okay, bye.